Welcome to KMD channel. Once again, a channel for creativity and innovation. This is a second version of the GID students interview. So I have 3 students once again. So introduce yourselves to the audience, please.
Hi, I'm Carla and I am a mechanical engineer, and I've come to the program to get more involved in design and innovation on a global scale.
Hello, I am Chema. I'm an architect from Spain, and I'm really interested in the sweet spot between design and engineering and business.
Hi, I'm Corrado. I studied industrial design in the US, and I'm really interested in designing the future.
Designing the future. Interesting. What's the future for you?
Well, you said it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
So I think the future is still pretty undecided, and it's programs like this that will help create that, and people who come to programs like this, I believe.
I always quote from several people who constantly say predicting the future is very difficult, but rather than predicting, if you create your own future, it's probably much better off.
Yeah.
And so I hope the GID program will prepare yourselves that you can strive to create your own future of your dream.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do so, we are looking at the global scale issues and how can we educate students with this global mindset as the first initial question that we posed ourselves. And we thought, well, each institutions are physically located in one place, so we can share the cultural experience of one institution's neighborhood. But in order to be globalized, one needs to be exposed with different or multiple different cultures. So that's why we thought it might be better for students to travel around possibly 3 distinctly different cultures and cities. So I understand you are the second stop after New York. What's your experience in Japan so far? Anything unique that you found yourselves? The previous group mentioned about Robot Restaurant and some experience in Kochi. If you can share with me something other than that, would be excellent.
Yeah, I think something that's uniquely Japanese, well, I don't know, maybe, is the level of attention to detail that is almost everywhere, you know. On the subway you have and throughout the whole streets you have a mapping system for visually impaired people, and then you go to, I was at the airport the other week and there was a guy who was cleaning between the escalators, and this kind of attention to detail in public spaces especially is something that I think you'd be hard pressed to find anywhere else in the world. So that's something for me that's uniquely Japanese, this kind of very omotenashi. Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. How about you?
I think that building on that, there's also like a subtle appreciation of many things, whereas where we come from is everything's more direct. But here, they may not say it, but there are some things that they appreciate. And also the way that they do business is so different from the one in the US and in the UK. So for instance, we've been visiting some design companies, and we normally ask them like, so how do you start it, and then how do you thrive in business in this context and this other one? The insights that they give us are so different from the ones that we got in New York. And I guess it's one of the good things of GID is that you are exposed in first person to all those things so that when you go back to your host institution, you can design projects that go deeper than just the surface that we're so used to.
Excellent. And how about you?
So I think a lot of people know, and I did, that Japanese design is very beautiful and Japanese technology is really amazing. But what I didn't expect and that I learned is probably the most exciting thing and the most different thing here is service-related things. So the Japanese approach to service is completely unrivaled, I think, in the rest of the world. And just by coming here, you'll learn so much.
Yeah. And it's impressive they don't feel like that.
Yeah, it's really something that's very
So do you think now that you acquired some of the very unique design elements or design approaches to many things such as service design, do you think those things that you have acquired can be applicable and deployed in the Western culture in both in UK and US?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like you said, it's not even something that's conscious here. Yet, you know, the level of service is equivalent to something that we would have 5-star over in kind of more Western, like European cultures. So absolutely, if you can take those elements and apply them to things, you're just leaps and bounds ahead of any competition. You just blow them straight out of the water. Yeah, definitely.
Do you also agree?
I kind of agree with that, yeah. And not just about the service, but as you were saying, attention to detail. It goes so beyond cleanliness. So how manufacturing is organized, how a company is organized, it's so efficient. And I guess that's why Japan was so successful when it was like growing for the 80s. They just completely blew out all the other companies in the world. I also think that there's another skill that you learn, which is more than just trying to apply some of the Japanese concepts outside in the West or Western concepts in here. It gives you a sense of, even though you need to have a global vision to design successful businesses today, you also need to know that when you apply those in different countries, it needs to have a completely different deployment. And if you don't do that, it's really likely that you will fail.
That's a very good way of putting. Our name is Global Innovation Design, Global, but when we explain about this journey, we say transnational journey, because we don't think global, having one solution that can be deployed in different cultures really work. It needs to be adapted to a certain degree, and therefore in order to deploy in one culture, you need to understand that culture and then make adaptations of it. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I do. I think there's some fundamental things that should be implemented across all cultures. So, like, the level of service should be high among all cultures. But I think that when you're designing for anybody, you have to pay attention to the specific culture you're designing for and implementing things into. And I think GID has been really good in opening your mind and also being able to teach you how to learn about cultures very quickly, which I think has been very beneficial.
Yeah.
Excellent. So let me ask you a final question. After you've completed the journey and then successfully finished your education, what's your dream plan after that?
Maybe ask me next year, because this first year I've changed so much. I can only imagine that next year I will change an equal, if not more amount. So I think right now to answer would be, I think the answer would be different.
Okay, that's very good. Okay.
I don't know. I think even though I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in 10 years, I think in order to deploy innovation that has an impact, starting doing that in a large corporation can help, because the level of power and then the effectiveness of deploying systems or solutions quickly that these companies have is just so much higher than any other company. So even though you could say, oh yes, I want to start my own company with this idea that I had in school, not so sure if that's if succeeding is as easy as with this other path. So maybe start with a large corporation, and then after some years starting your own company once you have those insights and the expertise. And yeah, it's not only about expertise, but also about knowing people and knowing who to recruit for your company.
I think it's a very realistic and wise strategy. Of course, there are people who have so much passion about your own idea, and I have to start my own company with this idea, otherwise I'll regret. On the other hand, as you pointed out, knowing people, knowing how things work, is a value when you join companies first, and then you can start your company after that. Might be a good idea. So how about you?
So when I started GID, I had a very narrow vision of what I was going to do. But I think over this year, my understanding of the world and my aspirations have gotten much bigger. But unlike Chema, I would definitely want to go right ahead and start my own company. I think I would rather, instead of having it just by myself, work with other co-founders, because one thing that I've really learned in GID is the importance of working with people who are very different from yourself, and then putting all those kinds of knowledge and insights in together, and it creates something really beautiful at the end that you just can't get by working by yourself.
So I used to be of Chema's opinion, and then I was thinking, that's how I was thinking when I joined GID. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to go to these companies, I'm going to work there. Gradually, I've seen a lot of people who have been, yeah, it's a great thing to do, it's a great plan to have, and then you kind of get sucked into the bureaucracy, because there are very few companies where it is possible to have large-scale effects when you're just starting out. And then I was thinking, maybe I could be Corraldo's. I could go my own way, and then I could really impact, even if it was quite small initially, maybe I could get some momentum. But I think in reality, and speaking to a couple of graduates, working within a large company has benefits. If I could live in my perfect world, I would say 3 days a week I worked in a large company, and 2 days a week I did what I was really passionate about. I think that benefits me, and I think it would benefit a large company, because if you've got employees that are really passionate and really engaged in what they're doing and have a very kind of good work-life balance, I think it's win-win for everybody.
That's an interesting solution. Normally people say, should I take A or B, but you're saying I'm taking both.
Why not have both?
Excellent. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and we'll continue this interview sessions, so please join in again.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.